Let's talk to Connor Campbell. He's a financial analyst at Spreadex. Morning to you, young
morning.
Connor. Right, let's talk cable, let's talk FTSE. Let's kick off with the first chart. What are the key points here?
The dollar sort of found itself under pressure repeatedly in the last few weeks, mainly due to the trade war talks and concerns of the market, sort of market-wide. Interestingly, this week, you've sort of got on Wednesday a very interest rate focused day. Now that hasn't been sort of the talk of the markets in a while now since the trade concerns have sort of come in. So it's going to be interesting to see on Wednesday whether or how much of these interest rate issues sort of take hold of the markets, or whether the trade talk is just going to sort of cause a whitewash and those issues will pass over. On Wednesday, I think the US inflation is expected to fall from 0.2% to 0.0%, which isn't great again for the dollar. The Fed meeting minutes again on Wednesday evening. I think investors are going to be on the lookout for how exactly hawkish were Powell and co in March's meeting, and how many rate hikes are actually set up for the rest of the year. Is it 2? Is it 3? Like I said though, that could matter not one jot if so, you had the speech from China on early hours Tuesday morning. If Trump responds to that, and then the tariff tit for tatting continues throughout the rest of the week, as we saw last week, then I think again it's sort of going to be nuanceless trading purely focused on that one issue. So those figures on Wednesday might not come to matter. And again, with the rest of the week anyway, there's not enough stuff really for even that interest rate. That could be sort of an interest rate focused blip on Wednesday, and then you return to sort of the trade focus issues for the rest of the week. In terms of our clients, they've been selling as cable crosses around the 141, 1415 mark. Okay. I think just because any gains, the speed in which they can be undermined at the moment means that it's, as things get high, it's heading towards the pound's recent highs, cable's recent highs. There's every chance that a bit more good news and the dollar gets some steam back underneath it. Likewise, there is every chance that Trump comes in and undermines the dollar once again with some trade talk. However, I will say, it's interesting that the dollar didn't get, the market's got a fairly substantial boost from that speech in China. The dollar didn't really get anything out of it. So there is sort of a lack of willingness to move in the same way that the indices have in the last few weeks. So again, it's very difficult at the moment, but like I said, our clients are selling around the 141 mark.
Okay, well, let's have a quick look at the FTSE. The headlines here: can it substantially cross 7,200 despite the market-wide trade fears? It strikes me that there are a few buyers around.
Yeah, it's interesting. You've seen sort of the Dow Jones has been caught within a sort of an 800-point trading range recently, and last week you saw, it'd have a really strong session only to be undermined sort of before it could close. In Europe, however, despite there being a lot of volatility during the day, the FTSE, the DAX, everything sort of kept on the up and up. And it's managed, despite some pretty chaotic trading throughout last week, it's managed to hit multi-week highs, basically. I think the FTSE has continued on today, and it's at a month high. It's crossed 7,200. From our clients' perspective, they have been selling since it's crossed those levels. Again, right. I think similar with cable, the speed in which they can be undermined can wipe out those gains sort of in a heartbeat. However, I do think there is a decent amount of momentum with the FTSE at the moment that has, if you look at the last couple of weeks, broadly there isn't, you can see where it has been moving up and down throughout the day, but by the end of each session it seems to be up regardless of what is actually going on in the US. Perhaps sort of the market, the trade war concerns are very pronounced in the US and obviously have had effect market-wide, but the extent to which they're driving trading market-wide perhaps has been overstated if you look at what's going on in Europe.
Understood. On that note, Connor, thank you very much indeed.